Okay, so picture this. You're holding an iPhone. In your hand is a device more powerful than every computer NASA used to land on the moon. It can access all of human knowledge, navigate you anywhere on the planet, connect you to anyone instantly. And here's the thing, not one piece of it was planned. Your iPhone exists because of a chain of accidents, necessities, and remixes stretching back 2.6 million years. A chain that starts with a caveman, two rocks, and an idea so simple it barely qualifies as an idea. This actually happened. Every link in this chain is an accident. Let's trace it. 2.6 million years ago, our ancestors pick up rocks and start hitting them together. They're making tools with sharp flakes of flint, chert, and quartz. These rocks are rich in silica. And for thousands of generations, humans become experts at silica. They learn which rocks fracture in predictable ways, which edges hold, how to shape them. Then, around 3500 BCE, someone builds a fire on a beach. The sand is also silica. The fire gets hot enough, and the sand melts. It turns into a weird, shiny, transparent blob. Nobody meant to invent glass. It was an accident. A campfire in the wrong spot. But for the first time in human history, a person is holding a transparent, shapeable material made from the exact same stuff they've been bashing together for 2 million years. I want you to really sit with that. The first glassmaker was just someone who built their fire on the wrong patch of sand. That mistake is the only reason you can read anything right now. Glass sticks around for millennia. Beads, vessels, and windows. Useful, but not world-changing. Then, around the year 1000, some monk with failing eyesight picks up a curved piece of glass and holds it over a piece of manuscript, and the text is bigger. The reading stone is born. Within a few centuries, Venetian glassmakers figure out how to shape glass into precise curves. By 1286, someone in Italy puts two of these curved pieces into a frame and straps them to their face. We now have spectacles. For the first time in human history, getting old doesn't mean going blind. Scholars can read past 40. Knowledge accumulates across whole lifetimes instead of fading with eyesight. And then someone asks the question that changes everything. What happens if we stack more lenses? By 1590, Dutch spectacle makers have created the compound microscope. Cells, bacteria, a whole invisible universe. By 1608, someone points the same setup at the sky, the telescope. An Italian named Galileo gets his hands on one, points it at Jupiter, sees moons orbiting it, which means not everything orbits Earth, which means the church is wrong about the structure of the entire universe. Spoiler, they did not take this well. But here's the thing. Galileo wasn't trying to start a revolution. He just pointed a tube at the sky, and the domino fell. Galileo's discovery doesn't just break astronomy, it breaks the way humans think. If the church was wrong about the heavens, what else were they wrong about? This question births the Enlightenment, the scientific method, Newton, and chemistry, which leads somewhere nobody expected. In the 1720s, a German scientist named Johann Heinrich Schulze discovers that silver nitrate darkens when exposed to light. He's not trying to invent photography, he's just messing around with chemicals. But he stumbled onto the key. By 1826, a Frenchman named Joseph Nicephore Niepce captures that reaction on a glass plate. The first photograph, light through a lens onto a chemically treated surface, writing with light onto glass. Now here's the part nobody saw coming. 130 years later, engineers are trying to make computers smaller. They've invented the transistor. They've got multiple transistors on a single piece of silicon. But they need a way to print circuits smaller than a human hair. And someone looks at a photograph and thinks, what if we do that? Photolithography, printing with light. You take a silicon wafer and coat it with light-sensitive chemicals. The same basic chemistry Schulze discovered in 1720. Shine light through a mask with the circuit pattern. The light hits the chemicals. The pattern transfers. You etch away the exposed parts. You're left with a circuit. This is how every microchip on Earth is made. The same process that put a 19th century family portrait onto glass now puts 7 billion transistors onto a chip the size of your fingernail. 7 billion. In 1958, Jack Kilby at Texas Instruments builds the first integrated circuit, a few transistors on a single piece of germanium. It's crude. It barely works, but it proves the concept. Then Gordon Moore, co-founder of Intel, notices something in 1965. The number of transistors on a chip is doubling roughly every 2 years. And it keeps doubling. The same domino falling faster every time. Every 2 years, chips get twice as powerful. A room-sized computer from 1946 becomes a desk-sized computer by the 1970s. Desk-sized becomes a laptop by the 1980s. Laptop becomes a pocket device by the 2000s. And in 2007, Steve Jobs walks onto a stage in San Francisco holding one slab of glass and aluminum, the iPhone. Inside it, a chip made using photolithography. Light through a mask onto silicon, the silicon purified from sand. The photolithography exists because of photography. Photography exists because of silicon and glass lenses. Glass lenses exist because a medieval monk held up a curved piece of glass and noticed text got bigger. That glass existed because some Mesopotamian built a fire on silica sand by accident. And humans knew how to work with silica because 2.6 million years ago, a caveman picked up a rock and hit it against another rock. Rock, fire, glass, lens, telescope, science, photography, chip, iPhone. Every link is an accident. Every step is a remix. Nobody in the chain knew what the next person would do with their invention. The caveman wasn't thinking about smartphones. Galileo wasn't thinking about microchips. Nipsey wasn't thinking about the internet. And the chain isn't finished. Whatever comes after the iPhone it's being built right now, probably using something someone invented by accident yesterday. That's how it's always worked. If you enjoyed the video, you might like this one, and comment down below which invention you'd like to see next.